The fastest way to change your life is to stop letting your current life talk you out of what you want. Be honest for a second. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start when things improve, when I have more money, when I feel confident, when I know it will work"? That sounds reasonable, but that thinking quietly keeps people stuck for years. Real life doesn't move first. It waits to see what you're willing to do. This audiobook is about something most people never learn. Your current reality is loud, but it's not powerful unless you obey it. The moment you stop letting today decide what you do next, everything changes. Not magically, practically. You act differently, you choose differently, you stop waiting and start forcing movement. This is not about ignoring bills, problems, or responsibility. It's about ignoring the voice that says, "This is all you get." If you've ever felt behind, frustrated, or tired of starting over, this is for you. Stay here, because what you're about to hear isn't motivation for one day. It's a way of thinking that puts you back in control, starting now. Chapter 1. Ignore current facts and take action now. Listen closely, because this is not theory, and this is not hype. This is about how people actually change their lives. I have spent decades watching human behavior in business, in families, in friendships, and in personal growth, and I can tell you something very direct. Most people wait for reality to change before they act, and that is why their life stays the same year after year. They look at their bank balance, their body, their job, their past mistakes, their current position, and they say, "This is where I am, so this is what I can do." That way of thinking keeps people stuck. Reality becomes a prison when you treat it like a rule book. Here is the truth. Current facts are not commands, they are reports. Facts only tell you where you are, not where you must stay. If you allow current facts to control your behavior, you give them power they do not deserve. People say, "I cannot start until things improve," but things do not improve until someone starts. Action always comes before visible change. Always. Waiting for proof is the slow path. Acting without permission is the fast path. You do not ignore reality by pretending it does not exist. You ignore reality by refusing to let it decide your next move. You acknowledge where you are, and then you act as if improvement is already required. Human beings do not rise when they feel ready, they rise when they decide to move despite discomfort. Confidence does not come first, action comes first, and confidence follows quietly after. Think about daily life. A person wants better health but looks in the mirror and feels disappointed. That feeling tells them to wait. A person wants more income but checks their account and feels stress. That stress tells them to hold back. A person wants better relationships but remembers past failures and stays quiet. Every one of those reactions is obedience to current facts. Obedience feels safe, but it keeps life small. Action breaks this pattern immediately. When someone takes action despite the facts, the mind begins to adjust. The nervous system calms down. The identity starts to shift. The person begins to feel different, not because the results are visible yet, but because the direction has changed. Direction matters more than position. A small step in the right direction creates more inner strength than 1,000 thoughts about change. Many people confuse ignoring reality with being careless. That is not what this is. This is disciplined action. This is saying, "I will not wait for motivation, approval, or perfect conditions." This is saying, "I will do the next useful thing now." The human brain respects movement. When you move, the brain stops arguing. When you sit still, the brain creates reasons. Most fear exists only to stop action, not to protect you. There is a simple rule in personal growth: the longer you wait, the heavier the action feels. Delay multiplies effort. Immediate action reduces emotional weight. That is why small actions done right now are powerful. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after reading another book. Now. Even imperfect action sends a signal to your mind that you are in charge. People ask how to stay motivated. Motivation is not something you wait for, it is something you earn through movement. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Waiting does the opposite. Waiting drains energy and increases doubt. Doubt grows when the body is still. Courage grows when the body moves. Ignoring current facts means you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop saying, "I will act when I feel better." You stop saying, "I will start when it makes sense." Life rewards decision, not explanation. Every meaningful improvement in your life started when someone took action before the situation looked friendly. If you want something new, you must act in a way that does not match your current situation. That is the uncomfortable truth. New results require unfamiliar behavior. If you keep acting according to current facts, you will keep producing the same future. The future is not created by facts. It is created by habits repeated daily. This approach works in simple daily ways. You wake up tired and still move your body. You feel unsure and still make the call. You feel unprepared and still start learning. You feel nervous and still speak up. Each of these actions trains the mind to follow decisions instead of emotions. Emotional control does not come from suppression, it comes from leadership. You lead your emotions by acting. People often overestimate how dangerous action is and underestimate how dangerous inaction is. Inaction slowly erodes self-trust. Each time you delay, you send yourself a message that you cannot be relied on. Over time, that message becomes identity. Action rebuilds self-trust. Even small action says, "I do what I say I will do." Ignoring reality also means ignoring noise. Opinions, past stories, social comparison, and constant information create mental clutter. Action cuts through clutter. A person who acts daily does not need constant inspiration. They become the source of their own belief. Belief grows from evidence, and evidence comes from doing, not thinking. There is another important point. Reality responds to energy, not intention. Intention is invisible. Action is visible. When you act, you attract resources, attention, and opportunities. When you wait, nothing moves toward you. Life responds to movement. Doors open after you start walking, not before. This is not about instant magic results. It is about instant control. The moment you act, you regain control of your direction. Control reduces anxiety. Control restores dignity. Control builds confidence. Results take time, but self-respect returns immediately. Many people want to feel ready. Readiness is a feeling, and feelings change. Decisions are stable. Make decisions your foundation, not feelings. Decide to act today regardless of mood. Decide to take responsibility regardless of outcome. Decide to move forward regardless of fear. You do not need to know the whole path. You only need to take the next step. Clarity follows action, not the other way around. People who wait for clarity wait forever. People who act create clarity through experience. If someone is waiting for permission to change their life, this is it. Permission is granted by action, not by someone else. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can today. Reality will adjust after you move. Human potential responds to challenge. Comfort does not grow people, movement does. The person who learns to act despite current facts becomes unstoppable because they are no longer controlled by circumstances. They are guided by decisions. Every day you wake up and reality presents a story. You choose whether to believe it or challenge it with action. Action is how you rewrite the story. Not arguing with facts, not denying them, but outgrowing them. Take action now, Not because it feels easy, but because it builds the muscle that creates everything else. Discipline, clarity, confidence, and progress all come from the same place: movement. When you move, life moves. The greatest reward for acting immediately is not the result. It is the person you become in the process. A person who trusts themselves acts. A person who acts grows. And a person who grows eventually creates a reality worth living in. Chapter 2. Decide first, then let reality catch up. You don't wait for life to look perfect before you move. You don't wait for everything to make sense. You decide first. That's where real change begins. When you stop asking for signs and start creating your own direction, that's when life responds. The truth is, most people are looking around too much. They're waiting for permission, waiting for conditions to line up, waiting for someone to say it's their time. But that moment never really comes unless you make it happen. Everything starts with a decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a someday. A real, honest, solid decision. And it's not always loud. It's often quiet. It's not about shouting goals to the world. It's about telling yourself, this is what I want, and I'm done waiting. That's it. You lock it in, and you move with it. That kind of decision isn't casual. It comes with commitment. It comes with ownership. And once you make it, life starts moving. Reality doesn't shape your decision. Your decision shapes reality. You have to be the kind of person who says, this is what I'm building, even when there's nothing around to support it yet. Maybe your bank account doesn't match your goals. Maybe the people around you don't believe it. Maybe the numbers look off. Doesn't matter. You still decide. You decide before the results show up. You decide when it feels risky. You decide when there's nothing but belief to work with. And then you start acting like that future is real. That's how you bend reality. People ask, but what if I'm not ready? That's the wrong question. Nobody ever feels ready. Readiness is not a signal to wait for. It's something you create through motion. The right question is, what do I need to do now that I've decided? Once that's clear, you stop hesitating. You start building. You start practicing the future before it looks like anything has changed. You have to see it in your head and trust it enough to work for it, even when nothing around you confirms it yet. That's not fantasy, that's leadership. That's inner strength. People who shift their lives don't do it because they had proof first. They did it because they decided and kept showing up. Your environment will catch up. The money will catch up. The confidence will catch up. But it starts with you moving first. Deciding means no more trying. It means no more testing the water. It means no more saying you'll do it when you feel more motivated. Decision is not about motivation, it's about commitment. And commitment is action, not talk. You know what gets in the way of decision? Too many options, too many opinions, too much time overthinking. You have to stop negotiating with your excuses. You have to stop looking at your current situation like it defines you. It doesn't. It only describes where you've been, not where you're going. When you make a real decision, you don't ask for backup. You don't wait to be carried. You walk into it. You do the work. You create the momentum. That's how confidence builds. Not by wishing things would change, but by being the reason they do. Some people wait for clarity to act, but clarity comes from action. It doesn't drop from the sky. It comes from you doing, failing, adjusting, trying again. You can't plan your way into a new life. You work your way into it. When you decide first, you begin to carry yourself differently. You stand taller. You speak with more purpose. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't see it. You start protecting your time and using your energy better. That's how reality begins to shift. Not because it magically agrees with you, but because you refuse to shrink to fit it anymore. There's something powerful about someone who moves without waiting. You feel it in their tone, their discipline, the way they don't waste time. That's what you become when you live from decision, not reaction. Too many people are reacting to what's around them instead of deciding what they want and building it. They wait for the job, the relationship, the recognition before they act. That's why they feel stuck. You break that cycle by deciding first and acting in alignment with that decision every day. Even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when the results are slow, you still act like it's real, because it is, just not visible yet. The difference between people who change their life and people who don't isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not intelligence. It's the willingness to act from decision instead of reaction. You have to make that choice, and it won't feel perfect, but it will feel real. Deep down, you'll know. You'll know this is different. You'll feel the weight of it. That's when you start to become the person who doesn't quit, the person who doesn't lower the goal, the person who doesn't go back to comfort. The moment you make a real decision, your world starts to rearrange itself. Maybe not instantly, but steadily, quietly. You start seeing new options. You attract better conversations. You think clearer. You waste less time. That's what decision does. It sharpens your vision. And the more you practice living this way, the faster your environment reflects your inner commitment. Not because it's magic, but because your actions are finally aligned with what you say you want. When you act before results, you're building faith in yourself. That's more powerful than waiting for things to improve on their own. Every step you take without proof is a deposit in your future. Every single one. Most people don't get what they want because they keep withdrawing energy before it has time to build. They stop too soon. They second-guess their path. They treat decision like a mood instead of a standard. But you're different when you understand this. You know that once you decide, your job is to move, not explain, not wait, not overthink. Just move. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to trust yourself long enough to find the right steps, and they show up when you do. Decision clears the fog. It turns confusion into action. You might not feel ready, but you'll feel focused. You might feel nervous, but you'll move anyway. That's strength. That's how people build careers, change habits, create massive results. Not by waiting for life to say go, but by saying go and daring life to follow. So you decide now, whatever it is. Decide. Then move as if it's already done. Let your daily actions reflect that decision, not your current reality. Reality will catch up if you stay in motion. Reality will shift if you stop adjusting your effort to match your fears. You lead with vision. You back it with discipline. You ignore the noise. And you keep showing up. That's how you ignore reality and still get what you want. You move like it's already real, and you don't stop until it is. Chapter 3. Act like results matter more than reasons. When you care more about the outcome than the excuse, everything begins to shift. That's when your energy changes. That's when people start noticing something different in you, because most people are living in reasons. Real ones, logical ones, emotional ones. But still just reasons. They say, I didn't have time, or I was tired, or I wasn't sure where to start, and they believe it. The reasons feel true. But here's what no one talks about. Reasons don't build results. Action does. If your life is shaped by explanations, it won't move forward. If your progress depends on being in the mood, you'll lose weeks, months, even years. But the moment you shift into a place where results matter more than the reason not to try, everything changes. You stop arguing for your limitations. You stop explaining why it didn't happen. You stop needing people to understand your delay. You just act, and the results begin to stack. There are always reasons not to do the thing. You're not ready. It's not the right time. You feel off today. You've got too much going on. Everyone has those thoughts. But the people who win are the ones who understand that those thoughts don't deserve control. Thoughts come and go. Feelings change. But results stick. They stay with you. They change your future. They build your identity. They shift what you believe about yourself. That's why they matter more. You don't need more reasons. You need more proof. And proof only comes from doing, not talking, not planning, not thinking, just doing. The more you act, the more you realize how many reasons were just mental noise. You start to see that most of the time, it wasn't the situation, it was hesitation. It wasn't the environment, it was overthinking. And once you act anyway, despite all of it, you realize how much power you've been giving away. So, what does it look like to act like results matter more than reasons? It looks like showing up when you don't feel like it. It looks like starting the task even when you're confused. It looks like doing the workout even if it's late. It looks like making the call even if you're nervous. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's consistent. You get up and do the work. You move forward even if it's messy. You finish what you said you'd start. Because the result is what you committed to, not the feeling. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who stay in the same place. One group acts from commitment. The other acts from emotion. And emotion is unreliable. It can't be the thing that drives your life. It'll talk you out of everything that matters. Every result you want lives on the other side of effort. Not motivation, not luck, not talent. Effort. But effort doesn't show up if you're waiting for the perfect time. You've got to bring it with you, even on the hard days. Especially on the hard days. Those are the days that build you. The days where the reasons are loud and your body's tired and your mind is looking for a way out. Those are the days that count. That's where character is built. Because the truth is, there's always something, always a reason to wait. Always a reason to pause. Always a reason to skip. But every time you choose the action over the excuse, you grow stronger. You get sharper. You get faster. You stop hesitating. You stop doubting yourself. You stop apologizing for wanting more. When you're focused on the result, your energy moves differently. You're not scrolling mindlessly. You're not distracted by gossip. You're not making excuses for average effort. You know what you're aiming for, and your behavior shows it. You carry yourself like someone who's not trying to feel better. You're trying to be better. And here's something most people don't realize. Taking action is what fixes your mindset. People wait to feel positive. They wait to feel inspired. But action creates the clarity they're waiting for. You don't need to wait for your mind to be perfect to do something great. You just need to act like the outcome matters more than your mood. It's uncomfortable at first. Your brain will give you every reason to stop. It'll try to protect you. But safety and growth don't live in the same place. If you want growth, you've got to accept risk. You've got to accept discomfort. You've got to accept that some days you'll feel unsure and do it anyway. Results are built when you stop giving energy to excuses. You don't argue with them. You don't analyze them. You don't feed them. You just move. You create movement. You create momentum. You build the outcome with action. And something powerful happens when you live this way. People around you start changing too. They start moving different. Because they see what it looks like to be consistent. They feel your energy. You stop being someone who talks and start being someone who shows. And that inspires people more than any speech ever could. But it starts with a choice. A decision that no matter what comes up, you will value progress more than comfort. You will value completion more than reason. You will value results more than stories. Because stories don't move your life forward. Steps do. So the next time your mind offers a reason, pause. Ask yourself, does this reason build my future or delay it? Then act anyway. That's how you rise. Not by knowing everything. Not by feeling certain, but by moving with purpose. Even when your mind resists. Because what you do shapes who you are. Every action you take is a message to your brain about what matters. And when you act like results matter more than reasons, you teach yourself that you're someone who follows through, someone who finishes, someone who doesn't fold when it's tough. That's how you build strength. Not through theory but through action. Not through motivation, but through movement. Not through comfort, but through clarity. And clarity is built by showing up over and over. So from now on, make this your standard. The reason doesn't matter. The result does. Show up. Do it right. Keep your word. Get the result. And then do it again. That's how you build a life that's strong, focused, and free. One step at a time. No reasons. Just result. Chapter 4. Move fast before reality talks back. There's a small window in every moment where you feel the spark to do something different. A message, a task, a move you know you need to make, and in that window you have a decision to make. You either act fast, or your mind starts to argue. That's how most people lose. They wait too long. They wait for clarity. They wait for comfort. They wait for reality to give them a green light. But reality doesn't give green lights. It gives resistance. It throws in reasons, fear, and distractions. If you don't move fast, that little window closes. And when it closes, you hesitate, you overthink, and you stay where you are. You must learn to move before your current life starts reminding you of all the reasons not to. The longer you wait, the louder the noise gets. The voice in your head brings up your past failures. It talks about how tired you are. It reminds you of your doubts. And if you listen to that voice, you lose momentum. You shrink back. You forget why you even considered changing in the first place. That's why speed matters. You have to be quicker than your excuses. You have to act before the logic kicks in. Because logic, in the wrong moment, becomes a weapon against your own growth. The brain loves familiarity. It loves patterns. It wants things to stay the same. So when you decide to go after something new, your brain starts resisting. Not because you're weak, not because you're wrong, but because you're wrong, but because you're disrupting your routine. And that disruption needs to be strong enough to override the pull of your current life. When you move fast, you cut through the noise. You don't give fear time to breathe. You don't let overthinking take control. You grab the moment and you use it. That might mean sending the message before you talk yourself out of it. It might mean starting the project before you feel ready. It might mean getting up and moving your body before your comfort convinces you to stay still. Moving fast doesn't mean being reckless. It means being committed. It means acting from a place of urgency, not panic. It means recognizing that the cost of delay is heavier than the risk of a mistake. Most of the time, the mistake people make isn't moving too fast. It's not moving at all. When you get an idea that feels right, don't let it sit too long. The longer it sits, the heavier it gets. You start thinking about what could go wrong. You start wondering if it's the right time. You start questioning if you're even good enough. That's how people bury their best ideas. not with failure, but with hesitation. You can't build a powerful life at the speed of doubt. You build it at the speed of decision. That means you don't wait for the mood to be right. You create the mood by acting. You generate clarity by starting. You build energy by doing. Too many people are sitting still, waiting to feel different. But feelings don't create movement. Movement creates new feelings. It shifts your mood, sharpens your focus, and builds confidence. Think about every time you hesitated on something important. Every time you paused before making a bold move. How many of those moments led to growth? Probably none, because growth happens after you break through hesitation. After you take action, not before. Speed builds momentum. Momentum builds belief. And belief changes everything. When you start stacking small wins, your mind starts to see you differently. You stop being the person who overthinks. You become the person who executes. That changes how you speak. It changes how you carry yourself. It changes how people respond to you. You have to become the kind of person who doesn't wait for life to feel perfect before you act. The opportunity to change never feels obvious. It often feels inconvenient. That's why the decision to act quickly is what separates those who evolve from those who stay stuck. When you start making fast moves toward your goals, you disrupt the patterns that kept you stuck. You interrupt the cycle of procrastination. You stop telling yourself you'll do it later, and that shift changes everything. Suddenly, things that used to feel impossible start becoming manageable. You stop needing massive plans and start focusing on small, immediate steps. Speed also protects your energy. When you act quickly, you stop letting tasks pile up in your mind. You stop mentally carrying the weight of what you haven't done. You start living lighter because you're not holding on to decisions that should have already been made. This isn't about rushing through life. It's about refusing to let overthinking hold you hostage. It's about getting out of your head and into motion. Because motion creates opportunities. It opens doors. It reveals paths you couldn't see when you were stuck in thought. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step before the fear gets louder than your desire. You need to trust that action will teach you what thinking can't. Some people live their entire life inside the loop of "I'll do it later." Later becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And suddenly, the window closes for good. That's how dreams die. Not with a bang, but with a slow delay. If something matters to you, move. If it's been on your heart for a while, move. If you know it's time, move. Even if it's scary, even if it's hard, even if it's uncertain. Move before the version of your life that you're trying to escape pulls you back in with comfort, excuses and logic that sounds smart but keeps you small. Every second you spend waiting is a second you could have used to create momentum. Don't give that time away. Use it, make it count, build something with it. The window is open right now. You don't need to ask if it's your time. If you feel called to act, it is. Speed doesn't mean recklessness. It means you trust yourself enough to move without knowing every answer. It means you understand that the cost of waiting is too high. You know what waiting does. It builds regret. It keeps your potential locked away. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move at all. You are not here to live life on pause. You are here to build, to grow, to create, and none of that happens in stillness. It happens in motion. Not perfect motion. Just honest, committed, fast movement toward the life you actually want. So move fast. Before your old life reminds you why you haven't changed. Before your doubts sound too convincing. Before comfort pulls you back to average. Move because you've wasted enough time waiting. Move because you've got something real to build. Move because you've already made too many promises to yourself that you haven't kept. This is your chance to change that. Not later, not soon. Now. Start now. Move fast, and don't look back. Chapter 5. Do the step you keep avoiding. There's always that one step, the one you keep pushing aside, the one that stays on your list, but never gets done. You know which one. It's the uncomfortable one. The one that feels just a little too big or too unfamiliar. Maybe it's that call you've avoided for weeks. Maybe it's the email you should have sent days ago. Maybe it's starting the workout, quitting the bad habit, posting the content, applying for the job, or asking for the opportunity. It doesn't matter what it is. The feeling is the same. You know you need to do it, but you keep finding ways to delay it. And every time you skip it, you lose something much more important than time. You lose momentum. You lose self-trust. You lose the chance to grow. That step you're avoiding is not random. It's not just another item on your to-do list. It's the step that matters most. That's why it scares you. That's why it feels heavy. It represents change. It represents progress. It forces you to stretch beyond what you've gotten used to. And that's exactly why it needs to be done first, not last, not later. First. Avoiding that step doesn't make it easier. It just gives it more power over you. You might tell yourself you're being patient, strategic, or thoughtful, but deep down, you know it's fear dressed up as logic. The more you avoid it, the more it grows in your mind. The task doesn't actually get harder, but it feels that way because you've trained your brain to associate it with discomfort. You have to break that cycle. You have to take that step before it becomes a wall. Not because you feel like it, not because you're ready, because the version of you that gets what they want starts there. The life you want begins on the other side of the task you keep putting off. And no, it won't feel good at first. It might feel awkward. You might doubt yourself while doing it. That's fine. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to follow through. Doing the thing you keep avoiding teaches your mind a new rule. Action matters more than emotion. That shift is everything. Most people are led by how they feel in the moment. That's why they stay stuck. You must be the one who moves anyway, who feels the resistance and steps in, who chooses discipline over delay. That step you avoid is a mirror. It shows you exactly where you need to grow. Maybe you avoid difficult conversations because you don't like conflict. Maybe you avoid starting because you're afraid to fail. Maybe you avoid finishing because you fear judgment. All of that is normal, but none of it is a reason to stop. Courage is not about eliminating fear. It's about acting while fear is present. The most successful people in any field have the same hesitation you do. The difference is, they go anyway. They don't treat fear like a red light. They treat it like a signpost. If it's uncomfortable, it's probably important. If it feels challenging, it's probably valuable. That's how they live. That's how you need to live. Start asking yourself better questions. Not how do I feel about this, but will this move me forward? Not what if it doesn't work, but what happens if I keep avoiding it? Those questions create urgency. They pull you out of the emotional fog and back into action. Because once you do the step, everything changes. You stop overthinking. You stop holding back. You stop wasting energy on guilt. There's nothing more draining than knowing what to do and not doing it. That feeling of unfinished business follows you everywhere. It sits in the back of your mind while you try to focus. It whispers to you when you try to relax. It pulls your energy without permission. And the only way to silence it is action. One step, one choice, one uncomfortable move. And suddenly, the weight lifts. This is how you take your power back. not through big wins or perfect plan, through the small, consistent decisions to face the uncomfortable thing. The thing that scares you is not there to stop you. It's there to grow you. It's the sign that you've reached your edge, and your job now is to push past it. Think of how many things in your life would be different if you stopped avoiding. The habits you'd build, the conversations you'd have, the doors that would open. Most people never find out what they're capable of because they keep walking around the same step. They make progress in circles. They stay busy but avoid the one thing that would actually move the needle. You don't need more time, you need more honesty. Look at what you've been avoiding and face it head on. It's not about speed, it's about ownership. When you finally do the step, you shift from avoiding responsibility to owning your growth. You prove to yourself that you're not someone who backs down. You're someone who finishes what they start. That changes the way you see yourself. That builds quiet confidence, not the kind you have to announce. The kind that shows up in how you walk, how you speak, how you lead. Doing the step doesn't guarantee instant success, but it guarantees movement, and movement always leads to clarity. You don't get confidence by avoiding. You get it by doing hard things and realizing you survived. Every time you face the thing you fear, the fear loses strength. Every time you step in, your self-trust grows. What you avoid controls you. What you face frees you. You get to choose which direction you live in. So today, stop saying "I'll do it later." Stop acting like you have forever. Start where you are. Use what you've got. Pick the one thing you've been avoiding and do it. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't ask for a second opinion. Don't prepare more than you act. Just begin. Take a breath and move. You'll be surprised how quickly your energy shifts. You'll feel lighter, clearer, more focused, because deep down you knew that was the step that mattered. And now you've done it. And now you've proved to yourself that you can do it again and again. That's how real transformation starts. Not with motivation, not with plans, with one honest decision to stop avoiding and start becoming. That's where your future begins. Not someday, not later. Now, do the step, the one you've avoided. Then watch how fast your life starts catching up. Chapter 6. Choose belief that makes action easier. Every action you take starts with what you believe. Every time you move or hold back, every time you try or quit early, there's a belief underneath it. You don't always notice it, but it's there. Beliefs are the engine behind behavior. You could have the best plan in the world, the clearest goal, the strongest desire, but if your beliefs don't support action, you won't move. You'll hesitate. You'll doubt yourself. You'll second-guess everything, and nothing changes when you're stuck in thought. That's why belief is not a luxury, it's a strategy. Belief is not about feeling good. It's about making action easier. If you want to change your life, you have to stop choosing beliefs that slow you down. Most people walk around with beliefs that constantly drain their energy. They believe it's too late. They believe they need to be perfect. They believe they're not ready. And those thoughts become rules they live by. But here's the truth. Beliefs are not facts. They're choices, and you can change them. You can drop the ones that make life harder and build the ones that push you forward. You don't need anyone's permission to do it. You don't need more time. You need to get honest about what you've been telling yourself and whether those thoughts are helping you or holding you back. Ask yourself right now, what do I believe about action? Do I believe it needs to be perfect? Do I believe it's okay to fail? Do I believe I'm capable of starting now? Those answers matter more than motivation, more than resources, more than timing, because beliefs either open the door or close it. When you believe that small steps matter, you stop waiting for the perfect move. You start doing what you can with what you have. When you believe that mistakes are part of growth, you stop being afraid of getting it wrong. You start showing up and adjusting as you go. When you believe you're allowed to take up space, you stop holding back. You start speaking, building, applying, sharing. That's how progress begins, not with magic, but with mindset. You've probably spent years collecting beliefs without realizing it, from parents, school, social media, past experiences. Some of them help you, most of them don't. But they feel real, because you've rehearsed them so often. You've repeated them in your head so many times, they became your truth. But repetition doesn't make something true. It just makes it familiar. If you've been stuck, it's not because you're lazy or broken. It's because something in your mind is making the next move feel heavier than it really is. The good news, you can fix that. You can choose beliefs that make your next move feel lighter, that make you want to try, that give you room to mess up and keep going. That's how you shift momentum, not by forcing yourself to hustle through resistance, but by upgrading the thoughts that created it in the first place. When your beliefs line up with your goals, action stops feeling like a fight. It starts feeling like alignment. You start to feel like you're finally moving in a way that matches who you are and who you want to become. This shift doesn't require months of work. It just requires one question. What would I need to believe to make this step easier? Not what do I currently believe? Not what sounds realistic? What would make this easier? And once you find that belief, practice it. Say it. Act like it's already part of you. If you want to eat better, believe that one good meal counts. If you want to start something new, believe that beginnings don't need to be perfect. If you want to speak up, believe that your voice matters. If you want to stop procrastinating, believe that now is a good enough time to begin. These aren't lies, these are useful beliefs, and useful beliefs create useful behavior. This is not about fake positivity. It's about effectiveness. Beliefs are tools. You pick the one that works. If a belief gets you moving, it's doing its job. You don't need beliefs that sound smart. You need beliefs that get results. Start noticing which thoughts make you pause, which thoughts make you shrink. Those are not your voice. Those are old programs. You can replace them. You can stop feeding them. You can build a new way of thinking where effort feels right instead of forced. And this isn't just mental, it's physical. Your energy changes when your beliefs support movement. Your posture changes, your tone changes. People feel it when you walk into a room with clarity instead of doubt. That clarity doesn't come from luck. It comes from choosing the right thoughts on purpose. This is something you do every day. You wake up and you ask yourself, what kind of person do I believe I am today? That answer will shape your whole day. If you believe you're capable, you'll try. If you believe your time matters, you'll stop wasting it. If you believe you're resilient, you won't panic when it gets tough. Every new habit you want starts with one belief. I can do this, not forever. Just today. Just for this moment. And if that feels too big, scale it down. Believe you can start. Believe you can learn. Believe you can take one step and not quit this time. That's how momentum builds. That's how you start trusting yourself again. You don't need to believe in the entire journey. You just need to believe in the next move. The brain loves progress, even a little bit. When you take that next step, your mind starts adjusting. It starts seeing evidence that you're capable. That evidence becomes confidence. Confidence becomes action. And action becomes results. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not stuck. You're just living with beliefs that don't serve you yet. That can change. Starting now. Not through a breakthrough, through choice. Choose better thoughts. Choose thoughts that give you permission to try. Choose thoughts that give you space to grow. If your belief system is built around fear, you'll always move slower than your potential. If it's built around progress, you'll get more done with less stress. You'll enjoy the process more. You'll stop measuring yourself against perfection and start measuring yourself against movement. Build your belief system like it's your foundation, because it is. Don't wait for evidence to believe. Believe so you can create the evidence. That's how every success story begins. Not with certainty, with a belief that says, I can take this next step, and that's enough. So today, choose the belief that gets you to act. Choose the belief that gives you back your time. Choose the belief that lets you breathe, move, speak, and build again. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be popular. It just has to work for you. When you find that belief, hold on to it. Practice it. Let it guide you. Then watch what happens when your mind stops blocking the progress you're ready to make. Chapter 7. Stop checking proof and start doing. You don't need more signs. You don't need more research. You don't need to double-check the numbers, reread the article, watch another video, or wait for one more example of someone who made it before you decide it's your turn. What you need is movement. Not information, not proof, action. Because proof-seeking is where progress dies for most people. They keep checking if it's going to work before they even try. They want to see the path fully lit before they take the first step. They want evidence that it will succeed, not risk, not failure, not struggle, just a clear guarantee. And that guarantee never comes. So they don't move. And because they don't move, they stay stuck. You can spend your whole life studying what works, watching what others are doing, analyzing data, building plans, tweaking goals, comparing outcomes, but if you're not doing, none of it means anything. Growth doesn't come from knowing, it comes from doing. It comes from trying, from testing, from learning on the move. The people who make real change happen are the ones who act before they feel fully certain. They understand something most don't. Proof is the reward for action, not the requirement. The constant need to check if it's going to work is fear in disguise. You don't need more validation. You need courage. The courage to step in before you're ready. The courage to build your own evidence. The courage to risk a little discomfort now, instead of waiting for everything to feel safe later. The truth is, later usually becomes never for those who wait for proof. What you're really doing when you delay action is protecting yourself from discomfort. You're trying to avoid the awkwardness of not knowing what you're doing. You're trying to skip the stage where things don't look perfect. But that stage is not optional, it's part of it. Every expert, every leader, every success story you admire went through that phase. The difference, they didn't stop there. They didn't let the lack of evidence block their effort. They made moves anyway. If you want different results, you can't keep operating from the same mental patterns. Proof checking is one of those patterns. It's how the mind avoids responsibility. It says, let me make sure it's worth trying, when what it really means is, let me avoid taking a risk. And if you're always in the business of avoiding risk, you'll never be in the business of real growth. There is no way around it. You must try. You must move. You must go first. No one is going to hand you certainty. No one is going to map out every outcome and guarantee success. That's not how this works. You learn by doing. You grow by failing. You sharpen your skills by being in motion, not by reading about motion. You figure it out on the move, but you have to trust that forward is better than perfect. Checking for proof over and over again keeps you locked in hesitation. It puts your future on hold. And you may not notice it in the moment, but every day you delay, you're slowly building a habit of not trusting yourself. That's dangerous. Because the longer you operate that way, the harder it becomes to break free. You start to believe you're someone who always waits, someone who never begins, someone who always needs more certainty before they act. And that becomes your identity. But you can change that today. You can stop needing permission. You can start moving without having every answer. Because here's what happens when you do. The answers show up. The momentum builds. The mindset shifts. Not because you knew everything, but because you moved anyway. And that kind of self-trust is rare. It's powerful. It's magnetic. People feel it when you're someone who doesn't sit on their ideas. They see it in your energy. You walk different when you're done waiting. Doing is what turns intentions into results, ideas into reality, beliefs into confidence. No amount of thinking will do that. Thinking is helpful until it becomes a shield. Don't use thought to hide from action. Don't call hesitation preparation. Don't call fear strategy. You know when you're stalling. Be honest about it. Be clear about what it's costing you. And then step up. Step forward. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in your life are on the other side of doing something without knowing the full outcome. You won't get that breakthrough sitting behind the scenes. You won't get it from another round of research. You'll get it when you decide that movement matters more than certainty. You'll get it when you start building your own proof instead of looking for someone else's. And no, it won't always feel right. It won't always be smooth. You might mess up. You might get confused. You might even feel like quitting. But all of that is part of the process. It means you're in it. It means you're learning. It means you're alive. You were not made to sit on the sidelines and analyze life. You were built to live. There's a different level of power that comes when you do something simply because you know it's time. No evidence. No applause, no guaranteed return. Just a decision. That's when life starts to respond. You attract opportunities not by waiting for them, but by moving like they're already yours. You build your future not by guessing, but by working toward it one action at a time. So stop checking. Start doing. Stop wondering if you're ready. Start acting like you are. The confidence you're waiting for will show up after you move, not before. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more advice. You need to move your feet. Make the call. Start the project. Publish the post. Open the door. Knock on the next one. And don't pause every 5 minutes to ask if it's working. Just keep going. That's what winners do. They move without constant approval. They trust themselves without endless validation. They act like their actions matter, and because of that they get results. Not always right away, but always eventually. Because action compounds. It builds strength, experience, clarity. And no amount of thinking will ever give you that. You already know what to do. You've known for a while. The problem isn't knowledge, it's movement. So today, take the pressure off being right. Take the pressure off being perfect. And just take the step. Then take the next one. And the next one after that. Because doing is what builds everything you're looking for. Doing is what gives you a life you're proud of. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to begin. Let your actions become the proof. Let your consistency become the evidence. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you become someone who doesn't wait for the world to say go. You say it yourself. And then you do something about it. Chapter 8. Treat imagination as instruction, not wish. Everything you imagine that feels right isn't just a daydream, it's a message. It's not something random your mind made up for fun. That vision you see, that life you keep thinking about, that version of yourself you can't shake off. It's not just a wish, it's an instruction. Your imagination isn't showing you what would be nice if everything somehow worked out. It's showing you what's possible if you start doing something about it. Most people don't treat it that way. They treat imagination like a fantasy, something to think about when they're bored or frustrated. They imagine freedom, confidence, energy, success, but then they go right back to routines that kill those dreams slowly. They separate what they want from what they do, and that separation is the problem. The more you treat your imagination as a wish, the less urgency you'll feel to act. The more you see it as instruction, the faster you move. That image you keep coming back to, of your best self, of your best life, that's not entertainment, that's a message from the part of you that knows there's more. That version of you exists for a reason. You see it for a reason, but most people stop there. They get inspired, feel a quick burst of energy, then slip right back into patterns that don't match the life they want. You have to stop romanticizing the idea and start following it like a plan. If you see yourself waking up earlier, working with focus, walking with confidence, helping others, doing work that matters, then that image is not asking for your admiration. It's asking for your commitment. Your imagination is the preview. Your behavior is the decision. You either move toward it or away from it every single day. Don't confuse what inspires you with what guarantees results. Inspiration is a spark, but it fades if you don't act. If you keep imagining what's possible and doing nothing with it, you slowly teach yourself that dreams don't matter, and over time, your mind stops offering them. That's when people start calling themselves realists. But they're not realists. They're just disappointed dreamers who stop trusting themselves. You have to take imagination seriously. That future you keep seeing, the one that excites you, scares you, wakes something up inside you. That's not a joke. That's the blueprint. That's the path. You don't need to figure out the entire plan in advance. You just need to believe the vision enough to start moving in that direction. You don't wait for reality to match it. You work until it does. This isn't magic. It's mindset. It's choosing to stop treating that version of yourself like a maybe one day and start acting like it's your responsibility to bring it to life. That means if you imagine being confident, you start making decisions that confident people make. If you imagine having energy and discipline, you start acting like someone who takes care of their body and keeps promises to themselves. If you imagine doing meaningful work, you stop wasting time and start creating something, even if it's messy. The more you act in alignment with the version of you that lives in your imagination, the more natural it feels. You won't have to force belief. You'll feel it growing inside you, not because you waited for it, but because you proved it through motion. You start becoming that person by doing what that person does, not by hoping, not by watching others do it, but by moving even when you feel unsure. If you keep telling yourself, it's just a dream, you'll keep treating your actions like they don't matter. You'll live small because you've trained your brain to treat your vision as a fantasy instead of a mission. That's a dangerous pattern. One that leads to regret, one that builds frustration, one that slowly kills your inner fire. But when you flip the switch and start using imagination as direction, everything shifts. You stop hesitating. You start living with more purpose. You stop doing what's easy and start doing what makes you proud. You stop looking at your dream life as a reward and start seeing it as a responsibility. This isn't about pressure, it's about alignment. It's about knowing that the life you want isn't found, it's built. And it's built one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one uncomfortable action at a time. You don't need to get it perfect, you just need to be consistent. And every time you move closer to that version of you, your confidence builds, your mind sharpens, your energy lifts, because you're finally living in a way that makes sense to your soul. You've already imagined who you could be. That part is done. Now you decide whether you'll honor that or ignore it. Every time you snooze on your vision, you teach yourself that you can't be trusted with it. But every time you follow through, even in a small way, you prove that your imagination was right to show you what it did. That you were made for more. That it wasn't random. You are not chasing fantasy, you are following instruction. And if you keep showing up, keep trusting the vision, keep taking steps even when it's slow, your reality starts to bend toward that version of you. Not instantly, but unavoidably, because the world responds to movement, to energy, to focus. And when you combine all three, nothing stays the same for long. You don't need to explain your vision to everyone. Some won't get it. That's okay. It wasn't sent to them. It was sent to you, so you honor it. You protect it. You wake up and live like it matters. Not when it's convenient. Every day. Especially when it's hard. Because that's the difference between people who imagine a better life and people who live it. You already know what you want. You already feel what you're supposed to. The only question is, will you treat that feeling like noise, or will you treat it like direction? Because once you decide it's direction, the delay ends. The doubt shrinks. The excuses stop sounding smart. And the work begins. That's when everything changes. Not because the world changed first, but because you did. You finally stopped calling it a wish, and you started living like it was a message. Chapter 9. Act daily until reality gives in. If you want your life to change, you have to show up for it every single day. Not when it's easy, not just when you're inspired, not when everything lines up. Daily. That's the part most people skip. They act once in a while, then wonder why nothing moves. They try for a week, maybe two, and quit because the outside world didn't react fast enough. But here's the truth. The outside world doesn't shift on your schedule. It doesn't respond to hope. It responds to pressure, and pressure is created by consistency. You act daily because reality doesn't bend for people who show up sometimes. It bends for the ones who are relentless, the ones who keep going long after the excitement is gone, the ones who wake up and move even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when nobody claps, because they understand something most people don't. Real change isn't about what you do once, it's about what you do over and over. Even when it feels invisible. You don't get better results by making louder promises. You get better results by showing up when you don't feel like it. That's what builds weight behind your actions. Anyone can start strong. Few can keep going without reward. But that's where your power is. In what you do when no one's watching. When nothing looks different. When you have every reason to stop but one reason to keep going. You would. Acting daily isn't about hustle culture or burning yourself out. It's about building proof. It's about creating pressure against the old version of your life until it has no choice but to move. Reality is stubborn. It reflects what you allow. It mirrors your habits. So if you keep acting from the same place, it will keep giving you the same results. The only way to break that loop is to apply steady, intentional effort. The more you act, the more your identity changes. Every day you keep your word, you become more reliable to yourself. Every task you complete, even the small ones, sends a message to your mind. I do what I say I'll do, and that message compounds. It builds a mindset that doesn't flinch, a mindset that doesn't look for escape, a mindset that knows momentum matters more than mood. There will be days when you feel like quitting. That's part of it. That's not a sign to stop. That's a signal that you're pushing through your limits. The discomfort means you're doing it right. Growth isn't smooth. It's frustrating. It's slow. It's often silent. But it's working, especially when it feels hard. Especially when your actions are not being recognized yet. That's when most people back off. And that's when you push harder. When you act daily, you separate yourself. You stop being one of the people who talks about change and start becoming someone who causes it. People will feel it. They'll notice you don't complain as much. You don't waste time the same way. You don't get shaken by small things. Not because you're trying to prove something, but because you've built quiet strength through repeated action. You stop needing motivation because you've built momentum. You stop doubting yourself because your habits are stronger than your fear. You stop watching others and comparing your path because you're too focused on your own work. And that kind of discipline becomes your edge. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's your commitment to act daily, no matter what the world looks like today. Reality doesn't move for people who make wishes, it moves for people who take steps. Even small steps done daily will outwork bursts of inspiration that fade after a few days. You don't need to go all in overnight, you just need to stop disappearing. Stop pausing for long stretches every time you don't feel like it. Stop restarting from zero every week. Start treating each day like it counts, because it does. Your future is not built in some perfect moment where everything is aligned. It's built in the middle of the mess. It's built when you're tired. It's built when you're uncertain. It's built when you're frustrated but refuse to stop. Every time you push forward instead of checking out, you gain ground. You take space back from the old version of you, the one who needed things to be easy to stay consistent. Acting daily changes you. Not in theory. In reality, it affects how you talk, how you work, how you think. It becomes your standard. Not just something you do, but something you are. You become someone who doesn't stop. Someone who doesn't shrink back when results are slow. Someone who knows the process is the point, and the results are just the side effect. And then one day you look around, and your reality is different. Not because the world suddenly gave you something, but because it couldn't ignore you anymore. Your actions added up. Your consistency became louder than your past. The pressure you applied every day forced your circumstances to catch up with your vision. You want freedom. Act daily. You want clarity. Act daily. You want to believe in yourself again. Act daily. You want respect, progress, results. Act daily. Don't wait for the world to confirm that you're worthy. Show it with your behavior. Show it with your consistency. Show it with your actions when it's hard, boring, or slow. This is how things change. This is how you win. Not by chasing hacks. Not by jumping from one idea to the next. But by picking your path, showing up and doing the work every single day, until your reality can no longer deny your effort. You don't need permission. You need to begin. And once you begin, you don't stop, no matter how long it takes. No matter how quiet the results are in the beginning. No matter how tempted you are to wait, to pause, to try something else. You stay. You do the work, because you know what's on the other side of all that effort. A life that finally looks like the one you imagined. A version of you who doesn't just dream, but delivers. A future built not by chance, but by choice. Daily choice. Daily action. Until reality gives in. Chapter 10. Repeat bold moves until results appear. You don't get results by playing it safe. You don't change your life by thinking small, moving slow, or doing what's comfortable. You change your life by making bold moves and repeating them long enough for your world to catch up. One move isn't enough. One attempt isn't enough. You have to keep going when most people stop. You have to stay loud in your effort when everything around you is quiet. That's where the shift happens, not in a single leap, but in the decision to keep jumping again and again, even when nothing is guaranteed. A bold move is not about being reckless. It's not about risking everything or making wild decisions. It's about doing what matters before it feels safe to do it. It's about applying for something you're not sure you'll get. Starting something before you have everything figured out, asking when you fear rejection, building something with no applause. Boldness means you move even when no one is watching, even when your environment says, slow down, play smaller, wait for signs. But you go anyway. Most people make one move and then wait. They put something out, hope it lands, and sit back to see what happens. But change doesn't respond to cautious energy. It responds to consistent action with intent. You don't take one step and get a new life. You take one step and then another, and another, and another. You repeat the bold action until you've left no room for failure. You don't whisper your goals, you act on them so loudly that the world has no choice but to move with you. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with repeated courage. Not random effort, not temporary motivation. Courage on repeat. Showing up again even when it didn't work yesterday. Trying again with a better strategy. Speaking louder after being ignored. Starting over after falling flat. You don't get the result on your first shot. You get it when you've proved that you're not leaving until it shows up. There's a point where you have to stop looking for permission and just decide that you're going to become undeniable. That doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you move anyway. Bold moves train your mind to act before fear takes the lead. And when you keep making them, something changes in you. You stop checking if it's working and start knowing it will. Because you're committed, not just interested. You need to stop asking how long will it take and start deciding as long as it takes. That's the difference between dabbling and deciding. If your timeline is tied to comfort, you'll fold when it gets slow. But if your timeline is tied to your purpose, you'll keep going until the world adjusts to your level of effort. That's what repeating bold moves means. You don't wait for the environment to shift. You become the force that shifts it. Every time you repeat the action, you grow stronger. Not just in skill, but in self-respect. Every time you do the thing, even when it feels risky, even when it hasn't worked yet, you build trust with yourself, and that trust changes everything. You stop chasing quick validation. You start living from a deeper belief that your work will work, because you will keep showing up until it does. Some people will question your pace. Others will doubt your idea. You will even have moments when your own mind tries to convince you to stop. That's normal. What matters is that you don't give in to temporary noise. Results don't show up when you're hoping for them. They show up when you've become the kind of person who no longer needs them to prove your worth. You've already proven that with your consistency. This isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about controlling what you can and doing it without pause. You can't control who responds. You can't control the timing. But you can control how many times you show up, how many times you try, how many times you say yes to discomfort and no to quitting. That's where results are made, in the repetition of effort without excuse. The most successful people aren't more talented. They're more resilient. They've repeated bold moves so many times that failure isn't even a threat anymore. It's just part of the rhythm. They don't expect perfection. They expect progress. And because they expect progress, they build it. When you commit to repeating bold action, you start seeing things differently. You stop asking for shortcuts. You stop needing everything to feel perfect. You start valuing movement over comfort. That shift makes you dangerous to your old life. It makes you unstoppable to your future, because now you're moving with purpose, not pressure. And that's where real change happens. There will be days when nothing seems to work. You'll question everything. You'll feel tired. You'll wonder if it's worth it. But the answer is always yes. Because you're not doing this for quick success. You're doing it to become the person who doesn't back down, the person who doesn't lower the goal, the person who shows up, no matter what the scoreboard says. That person is built through repetition, not of average effort, but of bold, clear, focused action, again and again, until the job is done, until the outcome bends, until your vision becomes reality. You don't get one shot. You get as many as you're willing to take. The world doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards persistence. Show it you're serious, not by talking louder, by acting bolder, repeating what matters, reinforcing who you are, over and over, until no one questions it. Not even you. You want to change your life. Start doing the thing that scares you, then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Keep showing up with the same intensity. Even when you're getting ignored, that's not failure. That's pressure. And if you keep applying it, something has to move. This is how momentum is created. Not through lucky breaks, through repetition, through determination, through energy that doesn't fade after a few tries. You either get the result, or you outwork every reason not to. And that's what this chapter is about. You don't dip your toe in, you dive. You don't knock once, you keep knocking until the door opens. You don't test it out, you go all in and let the work speak. Every day, no matter what. That's how results appear. That's how you rise. That's how you win.